chance, take a chance. Ghostly figures, guiding light, readers and seekers.
Good morning, Maureen. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the My Tarot morning reflection, daily inventory, and chance to take a breath. So, I hope everybody had that amazing day yesterday once again. As we get a chance to just remember that it's okay to breathe. It's okay to put our feet flat on the floor. It's okay for our butts to do the kitty dance and just get comfortable where we are. And where are our shoulders this morning? When we take a breath, feel the shoulders going down. And oh my gosh, that neck, the creaks. Getting those out. So that we can check in with the universe. Good morning, Angelina. So, I was sitting here thinking, it's like, people often ask you, do you have a favorite deck? And I always come back to my Marseille deck. I don't know why. I don't know what makes it so special. Maybe it's just I'm such a historical buff. I love reading anything about Greece, ancient history, all that stuff. But man, I know it's not the prettiest deck in the world, but it's just something about it. And that's what we're going to use this morning as we check in with the universe. See if we have any angers or resentments. See if there's anything that we need to look at. Maybe we can resolve those thoughts now before we go out into the world and decide to run somebody off the road because they're making us late. What does that even mean? And it's October 1st, or October 2nd. So I read this book often, and it's fun to read aloud. It's called The Night in the Lonesome October. And every day in October is a chapter. So you'll see online people talk about each day they read one chapter from this book. And it's a fun little book. And why am I talking about that? Well, we started reading it last night. And I'm just rambling. My brain's going into different directions, but that is such a fun book. I should have told you about that a month ago. So you could find a copy because it's out of print. Okay. But I noticed a message that, or Mina sent me something. Somebody else is actually reading it online. Irene Glass from Frederick House. She's doing the same thing. So, anyway, I'm done rambling. It's a wonderful day. I'm going to cease the ramble. And I am going to make our 3 stacks. And it's like each one of these stacks is a different thread going out to the universe. It's like each one's a different thought or idea. And if we believe in the multiverse, it's like each one of these is a different path, because this stack will lead down one path. This stack a totally different path, and this stack is going to take us in a totally different direction. And so today, let's take the top stack, or what I like to think of as things that are right in front of us and we don't even realize it. So, let's see what we have here. I'm going to do our 3 and 1. Oh, let's see. I thought I'd forgotten something, but I didn't. But I will take that extra breath. And I'll flip each card over one at a time, like we're reading the pages of a book. And I did this again. I did this last time I pulled these cards up. So keep in mind. So I was talking with somebody, and they'd gotten a brand new deck, and they wanted to check the deck out. And so they shuffled, and I guess they felt like they didn't shuffle enough, and so they pulled 3 court cards of the same suit, and then an advice card. And they're like, oh no, I need to redo this again because I didn't shuffle it enough. And I had to explain, and this is what I love explaining to people, is that that's how it was supposed to be. You know, this is what the universe has presented. You shuffled just enough times where your body said stop, and they listened. So, again, normally I don't read the Marseille as reversals. But when I get the Marseille, and I turn it up, I have this card, and I'm going to treat these as reversed as they come up, because I know that they are reversed. And with this, we have the Chariot. So the Chariot is our self-will. The charioteer was somebody that drove into battle. They're the ones that get celebrated in the triumph. The majors are called triumphs for a reason, because in Rome and in Italy, they would have these long parades after a battle or a war, and you would have a triumph. And you would have, like the person who's being celebrated would be the charioteer. He'd be in a chariot because it's his self-will. It's his drive. He's the one that motivated people to get things done. But also think of it like this, is that sometimes there's this term called self-will run riot, where we make a decision and then that's it. So if the charioteer is reversed, sometimes we need to think about, what is it that we've made a decision and that we're going to push it through. Sometimes that's a good thing, but let's see what the next card is. It's Justice. So here we have 2 court cards, and it's about seeing things clearly. Justice is not blind. Justice will weigh things out. That sword is straight. So the thing is that if this is kind of reversed, then we want to look at this as that how we get blinded by what we want. This is what I want. And so once we get that in our head, it's even sometimes to the point of where I don't care, this is what I want anyway. And what I mean by that is that we're on Amazon and we know that we shouldn't be buying this. Well, I want this anyway. I talk about things like the word halt. Don't go hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And that's because when we do that, we set ourselves up to say things like, I don't care, this is what I want. And then we move to the 8 of Coins. So, this is one of the most boring cards in the deck, and I mean that in a good way. So, 8s are about progress, moving forward. We're very close in our numerology from 1 to 10. We're getting close to that finish line. And 8s are about progress and moving forward. 8s are about taking those steps to keep going. Coins are home, health, finances, and all those things that keep us grounded. And they're not exciting things, right? And I like to point this out to be like, this almost looks like an assembly line, doesn't it? Where you could be here, you make a coin, you put it here, it starts going around the conveyor belt, and then the next one comes and you do what you need to that coin, and then it goes around the conveyor belt, and then the next one comes and you do what you need, and it comes. And so the 8 of Coins is just about one step in front of the other, doing what we have to do, doing what we're required to do. And again, if we treat these as reversals, sometimes we're not doing what we need to do when we need to do it. Sometimes we're so busy, focused on something that's distracting us. that whether it's work, it's like we can't focus on what we need to get done, or it's our home or job or things like that. We're using our self-will in a different direction. So the question is that what is it that we might be doing that might not be the most helpful thing in our lives? Is there something with our significant other that we're trying to push through, or we've become, apathetic about? Is it where we decide it's like, I don't care, I'm going to buy this car anyway, and we'll worry about paying for it later, where you just have to put your nose to the grindstone. This is about our choices and our decisions. So let's think about choices and decisions that we have coming up. And are we applying, critical thinking to it? Are we applying, logic to it? Or is it just that it's something that I want? So here's the advice card. Which is the 9 of coins. So again, coins are home, health, finances, and all those things that help keep us grounded. With the 9 of coins, I like saying that numerology, we have 1 to 10 in the tarot. 1 is a seed, plant the seed, we get this idea. 2, we're making choices. 4 legs on a table, and we're talking about coins. This is all about home and stability and things like that. We get 7 coins, because we've gone over 5 coins. 5s are always a challenge. But if this is a race from 1 to 10, and I know people have heard this a million times now, but repetition for me gets me into a focus. And the focus here is that with 1 to 10, if it's a race, 10 is not the finish line. 9 is the finish line. 10 is what we do with our winnings. So when we have a 9 sitting here as our advice card, this is about focusing our will in the appropriate direction. It's about keeping our eye on the prize. And our prize is the 9 of coins, home, health, finances, these things that keep us grounded. So when we are in a situation where we are thinking, well, this is what I want, I don't care, or I'm not going to check my bank account first, or you know what, for me, saying something like, deal with it. That's not a very empathetic way of going about things. Instead, it's about, okay, maybe I need to just visit with this idea, but I need to stay focused on the things that keep me grounded. So today it's all about keeping focus so that we can turn the chariot around with the appropriate self-will, see things clearly, and just do what we need to do. And then the 9 of coins is about fulfillment. It's about, we work hard for the things that we get, and it's about being able to enjoy those things, but we have to remember to work hard to get there. And when I'm a jerk, when I choose to be a jerk, then my happiness for today overrides any happiness of anybody else's and tomorrow. So for today, it's one of those things. Am I seeing things clearly? Am I willing to do just am I just willing to do the right thing? Do I need to put off instant gratification this week so that I can reach my goal of the 9 of coins? And that is so interesting that I would do that twice in a row. I can't think if I've ever done that before. Because normally, I am checking the cards, looking at them. So, this happened for a reason today. And same thing with anything else that happens. So, take care, everybody. Enjoy the day. I will be back here tomorrow. Take care, everybody, and thanks again.
Stars in the sky, cards in my hand, searching for signs, lost in the sand. Whispers of fate, echoes of dreams in the dark slate. Nothing's as it seems. Flip the cards, turn around. Mysteries we have found. In the shadows we dance. Take a chance, take a chance. Ghostly figures